are you excited, or do you feel a little bit like you can breathe? Are you excited about what Trump has been up to in his only 3 weeks in office? Or do you feel like, you have to constantly stay alert, like some shit will pop off?
I'm always like staying alert, you know. I think Trump's done a lot, but I also am skeptical of like, have you done it or are we being told that you've done it? I mean, I've read some stuff
Mhm.
about, they're arresting these migrants, but then they're being re-released. So it's like what makes the news is they got arrested. None of the stuff about them being re-released is
Oh,
making the news.
I hope not. Wow.
I think for the sake of morale, it's great to have him in there and saying this stuff, and us like really seeing like these people aren't American. Like if you're marching in the street with the flag of your country when your home country that you left supposedly and you no longer want to be in, when we say we're going to issue mass deportations of the criminals from your country, then you should go to that country. That's where you should be. If you
Yeah.
think you can attack people for wanting to defend American soil and wanting it to remain the demographic that built this country, then you should go back. There should be zero fucking tolerance for this. Like if we had a proper country, the cops would be right down there. Everybody there would be fucking rounded up. And if it turned out that you weren't an American citizen, there you go. There
Yep.
you go. Because rights are for American citizens. That's it. And why I say this, why I feel so strongly about this, is because these people do not respect our God given rights. They don't come from a place where there's such a thing as free speech and the right to bear arms and the right to have your freedom of association. And so they have no respect for our rights to those things. In fact, they perceive that you don't have a right to them, and that if you make them upset by the things you say, they have a right to retaliation through violence, which is completely antithetical to American society.
Right, because 'cause they're
So,
not interested in assimilating, they're not interested in being a part of American culture,
no,
they want to stay separate and,
they don't
uh
recognize that that is the source of the problems that they just
mhm.
left. They really do believe in this kind of very farcical idea of something called like magical soil, that somehow there's magical soil in the US, and that the success of the American population is because they built it on the backs of minorities, and they have some kind of magic thing going on. They don't understand that the culture that was brought here, that founded this country, is why this country is what it is and why everybody wants to be here. So, tough cookies. We don't need to explain it to you. You don't have the IQ to understand it anyway, and it's going to be lost on you. So, just
Many
wrap it
groups
up.
of people broke Many groups of people broke their backs building up this country. Why are we not, championing the Italians, who
The
are, like,
Irish,
building yes, building
the
dams,
British, the
building
Germans, the
buildings, yeah.
Swedes. I mean, they were, sorry, most of them were European immigrants, but you're not allowed to say that because we live in an anti-white global society that wants to totally dismantle any kind of sense of European identity and make you feel ashamed for it, because that's the only threat to their global hegemonic power. That's the truth. Until you get that, nothing else makes sense. When you understand that, everything makes sense.
Right, and that's, like, doubly why when you hear them talk about, "Oh, equality," it's like, well, equality for some, and not if you happen to be, a white person, a European type, you know? What are we
And
doing?
what they mean by equality doesn't even make sense, because they're saying that everybody should be equal and everybody should have the exact same things in their life. I don't believe that. I believe first of all, I don't even actually really believe in equality. I don't think everybody's born equal. I'm not as good at basketball as, Michael Jordan. Should I have the right to the same results as he did? No. That's a clear example. So, I would like for there to be equality of opportunity to all American citizens, but that also doesn't really exist. And you know what? You can't even get upset because a lot of those people who do have advantages have advantages because their parents made sacrifices. That's part of nature. If there's an animal that's stronger than if there's a lion that's stronger than the other lions, her cubs are going to have an evolutionary advantage. That's what it is.
That's a really good point you made about how we have spent decades in this country cultivating meritocracy, qualified individuals, and like really strong families that have sacrificed, saved up, passed their skills, their resources down to their kids, and but we're now meant to see those things as negative, and it's really just upside down world. We're supposed to uplift people that are less qualified, people that are
Right.
less worthy, um
Meanwhile,
and
they
everything's
don't
getting
break
worse.
down they don't break down things like, I mean, you want to talk about equality of opportunity, right? And how you, what you're really saying is nobody should monopolize all the opportunities to the exclusion of other people who are capable and who would be able to do this. I fully agree with this. But you know what's so interesting about that? All the companies and people that should be doing that, nobody pays attention to. BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, the pharmaceutical companies, Monsanto, all of these people who actually monopolize opportunities and exclude actual competent persons or companies from the competitive market, nobody cares about. That's the reason you can't own a house, is not because some white kid is
Mm.
monopolizing your opportunity. It's because all of the land is being bought up by these people and they're hijacking the prices.
Sliding Edge, thank you for the orange boy. We're not as homogenous as we once were. Culture should be in lockstep with our laws and law enforcement. Anytime migration is larger than what culture can handle, society gets fundamentally changed. Love you, Joni.
Thank you. But the thing that people don't understand is culture and demographics go hand in hand. This is a very controversial thing to say in modern day times. Throughout 99.9% of human history, this was a well known and accepted fact. So the fact that it's controversial today is because they don't want you to know this, because they're trying to institute demographic change that's easier for the elites to manage people. It's much easier to manage a
Wow.
hodgepodge of people that don't have any connection to the land, that don't have any tribes. Much easier than, people. You can't just go in really, you couldn't just go in and take over England and be like, I'm English. They knew who was English. So they're
Yep.
trying to do that. And culture is 100% a product of the people. If you want to know why countries around the world are poor, go look at the demographics, and then you will understand that you will go look at their culture. First of all, their culture doesn't have the same kind of work ethics, the same kind of honor, the same kind of courage, the same kind of trust, all of these things that make Western civilization what it is. And then you'll notice a overwhelming correlation between that culture and the demographics it's coming from. Nobody wants to talk about that because it's offensive. I don't really care. The
No,
question
it's
is,
racist. I mean, you're making observations, and is it racist to see a pattern? I guess
yes,
so.
yes, that's the whole thing. Yes.
Demographic change was an issue in the 1920s, and an immigration moratorium was passed that was interrupted by Ted Kennedy with the Immigration Act of 1965. Wow.
Yep, and that's when they all actually also changed the demographics of immigration. Before 1965, most immigration favored European countries. After 1965, they very explicitly disfavored European immigration and explicitly favored third world non-European immigration, which, by the way, is the culture that is completely at odds with American culture. So you tell me what the point of that was.
Why is that? And right, it's what you said, because
It's to create
it's easier to control.
destabilization. It is to destabilize. America was a major European power. I don't care if people, it was a European, it was a country for European peoples. It was a major power. It's going to stand in the way of global domination. And so what you have here is a complete destabilization of the country by bringing in people who are hostile and incompatible with it. And people don't want to talk about that because they say you're being racist, but the people who are doing this are actually the most racist, because they think that these people are way easier to rule because they see them as
Wow.
lower IQ and they see them on the lower human scale. And then secondly, the other thing is, do you really think these people are compassionate? Do you really think these global engineers of destruction and famine and plagues, care about people from the third world and that's why they're doing it.
Mm.
I mean, you got to be really a certain level of retarded to actually believe that.
I don't think they really care about anybody except for themselves and their own families.
Well, I'll just put it this way. If let's say you're saying this because these people live in such squalid conditions in the third world, okay? What percentage of the people are you bringing over to the first world to supposedly help from there? It's an entirely small percent. You could never import enough of those people to substantially alleviate the suffering that you're talking about.
Mm.
If you were actually interested in alleviating suffering, what you would do is actually something that resembles a bit more of what we traditionally know as colonization, because you would go in and you would set up the structures for these people that they're incapable of setting up for
Like
themselves.
Mr. B going in and giving the Africans water.
Sure, I mean, I think he's a demon, but um
Oh, really?
yeah, I definitely do think he's a demon. There's a whole thing there. I don't know, something very off about it, which I feel bad for him because he started as a kid and I think they just hacked him,
They hacked his brain.
Yeah, but you that's what you would actually do because you would actually and people really do want to live in their homelands. Like there's nothing like, I am an immigrant. That's true. I'm an Albanian immigrant and there is something different about, when I have gone back and visited my home country of knowing that this land fertilized my ancestors for generations. I'm an American now and nothing I won't ever really fully be able to go back and be Albanian because I just have American sensibilities now. But there's a level to which I'll never be fully American because I have this ancient DNA that's running in my blood. That's true. It's true, and that land is why I exist.
Mm.
America isn't the thing that provided food for my ancestors such that they can keep, reproducing and then form the matter that became me. This is a ancient understanding of our connection to land, which the immigrant is deprived of. So when you're forcing, I mean, none of those people, and that's why the people, they'll wave the Mexican flag even if they're the third generation. I get it. I'm not saying, they're wrong for feeling that way.
I
It's
love
just
tacos too.
it's just if that's what you are, then don't you think you should be there?
Yeah. Yeah. It could be Cinco de Mayo every day.
Yeah.
Margaritas all around. Good points. You're making very good points. You're making a lot of sense, Leonarda.
Well,
Matthew
don't
Hammond.
worry, this will come out as a bigoted
Oh,
interview.
yes. We'll be canceled again for this. Matthew Hammond, demographic change was an issue. Oh, I already said that. Wow.
I think you didn't read the red guy's comment. I think we didn't read that.
What? No way.
Yeah, the
You
red.
didn't
You
read
read,
it?
yeah, you read the green guy, not the red guy.
Oh my God.
He was the one who was saying something about prison. That
Okay,
one.
Rhinoceros. Thank you, Rhinoceros. I 100% agree with Leonarda. If racism is so bad, then why is it the way prisons naturally organize themselves? I love this woman. Very good point. I've heard this about prison is that people sort of separate into their groups.
They do. Yep.
All the trans people get together.
Yeah, those are the ones who are giving up blood sex.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Come and get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.